really fun seasonal socks. I call them the Creepy Crawly Spider socks, and they're really simple to make. So for this video instruction, I'm only going to be showing you how to work the spider section. The rest of the sock is the same template from my Simple and Best sock pattern. So the rest of it has a video, and then when you get to the section of colorwork and spiders, I'm going to put that section on this video, but all the other parts can be found in the Simple and Best sock pattern. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to do these rounds of color work. They look like this before I put the legs on the spider. So these rounds here are done in a bit of like color work where we're going to carry the yarn, and then we come back later and we stitch on the legs to get those cute little spiders. Now, when it comes to choosing yarn for your socks, there's so many great choices over on We Crochet. I chose a combination of Stroll along with Hawthorn Tonal or Hawthorn Speckle. I found using these two together was really nice because I got some solid colors, but then mixed together with the Speckle or the Tonal for the top of the sock worked great. So really just choose two colors of your favorite fingering weight yarn and it will look amazing. Now, after working 6 rounds past the split for the heel, this is where I'm going to start working my spiders on here. This is the start of the color work chart. If you would like to make the sock taller, you can do so. So before I finish this last stitch of this last round, I'm going to go ahead and grab my new yarn and yarn over and pull through to complete that stitch. And now I'm set up with my new color. So the very first stitch in this round will be a puff stitch. And a puff stitch is where we are going to yarn over, insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then do that again and again. And then I like to do it one more time. I really like these spiders to puff. So you can decide how much you want yours to puff by experimenting a bit. But I tend to have a total of, I think, 9 loops on my hook. And then I go ahead and I yarn over. And now this is what I like to do. I like to pull through the first 8 loops on the hook and then yarn over and pull through the last 2. It kind of helps pull that puff stitch together at the top a bit more. But I want to note, before we yarn over and pull through the last 2 stitches, we do want to go ahead, grab our new color and yarn over and pull through with our new color. That way we are set up to continue to work in this color until we need to switch again. So for this very first round, we will be working from the chart, and we are going to be having 15 stitches in between every single one of these. Now that's quite the stretch. So every few stitches, what we want to do is we want to take the color that we're not using for these 15 stitches, and we want to lay it over our hook. So I'm going to lay over the yarn I'm not using, I'm going to lay it over my hook, and then I'm going to complete the next stitch, and it works over that color and carries it on the back. It grabs it. You would not want to pull this yarn across 15 stitches without catching it on the back, because it will cause your sock to not fit right. It'll either be too loose and you'll catch a toe, or it will pull tight. So what you do is just lay the yarn, the secondary color, on the hook, and then you're going to complete your stitch, and it works around it and over it. And I do this every few stitches, and then it catches it. So I'll work this way until I get to the next puff stitch. Now, when it comes to this color work chart, you can see where we're going to be doing our puff stitches, but the rest of them will be worked in a secondary color using the stitch pattern that we're working in. So you'll be split single crocheting into every split single crochet and working in the back loop only for every single crochet in the back loop only. This chart will be worked from bottom to top and from right to left for every single round. So we're just going to work our way along this chart for the rest of this sock, including doing the puff stitch on round 5 of the color work, and you'll just complete this and then move on to the cuff as instructed. Like I said, for round 2, we'll just continue to work the way that the chart says. So really, it's for the next few rounds, we'll be working this way. When you come to the puff stitch, you're just going to work that as a regular single crochet stitch until the next round, where you can work it as a split single crochet, and that will be placed pretty far apart. So you'll want to keep catching your yarn on the back, your secondary color. So I'm simply working in the stitch pattern. So we're working the split single crochets into the split single crochets and the single crochet in the back loop into the single crochets in the back loop. And then we're going to be catching our yarn every so often because this pattern really does have really long floats on the back. And if you're not catching your yarn, you could run into some trouble when it comes to fit or being able to put your foot in it and not have your toe catch on anything. So every few stitches, just be sure to catch that yarn on the back and then work it as the pattern instructions say. Now, I have a tutorial on my blog on how to do color work if this is confusing to you. But I'm not going to show the rest of this chart on camera because it's just doing those same instructions over and over, and it will build up until you have all this color work section done, and then you'll simply go to the cuff. Now, next I want to show you how to do the legs of the spider. So now comes the fun part of these socks where we really make these puff stitches come alive and they become spiders by simply stitching on some legs. So a little bit of embroidery work, but don't get worried. This is really easy. It's all straight lines. So to do this first one, I took a strand of yarn, I weaved it in on the back of my sock and then popped up just like I have right here where I'm ready to stitch the spider legs. Now you can work a shorter strand and just keep adding more strands, but if you work a longer strand like I have, you can get a few spiders done on the same strand. Now for this very first spider, I'm kind of getting my yarn set up right where I want it. We can see that it has 8 legs because spiders have 8 legs. So we want to do 4 on each side of this puff stitch. I like to kind of have the front 4 legs hanging down and the back 4 legs going up. It's really what you want to do. You can look online for pictures of spiders and see what you like, but in doing them this way, I feel like they're almost like, you know, suspending down these spider webs towards the heel of the sock. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing these legs, and I'm going to do the first leg here. So I'm going to put my needle here, come up here, thinking about doing a jagged line. And then once I come up here, I'll go right back in this spot to complete that leg and up over here to start the next leg. And now I'll do this leg and I do it a little bit longer than the first. Or actually, I'm going to back that up and do it a little bit shorter. See, this is the nice thing about embroidery is you can just kind of move your stitches around how you like and just kind of experiment. You can always undo them. You don't want to do them too tight. You can kind of tug them back a little if you did do them too tight. And then up here, I want to do 2 spider legs as well. So I'm going to come up over here, down here, and then this will be my last spider leg on this side of the spider will be here. And now I'm going to go ahead and just mimic those stitches that I did on this side of the spider for the other side of the spider. If you enjoy embroidery, you probably enjoy this process. I haven't really done much embroidery the last few years, but I used to really love it, but I'm definitely not a pro by any means. So once I weave through this last one, I've got another spider done with their legs. Remember, spiders are organic, so the legs don't have to be perfect. And now I can weave my yarn on the back side very loosely. You don't want it to be tight and tug on anything until the next puff stitch, and then create the legs of the next spider. I hope you really enjoyed working up these creepy crawly socks. These spiders are so much fun. And this sock is such a nice stitch that you can wear it inside your shoe. And that's my goal with these crochet socks. I want to be able to wear these inside a shoe if I wanted to, so I can wear them out and about. And I really hope you enjoy these creepy crawly spider socks. I have other socks on my channel, so be sure to check those out as well and come back for more fun projects soon.